Hello and welcome to the Franchise Life. I am your host, Stacie Shannon. Today, we have an exciting new emerging brand called The Tux. And with me, I have Courtney Yeager, who is a serial entrepreneur and chief executive officer, and Gabrielle Sacco, director of franchise development. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you so
Hi.
much for having us.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Well, the three of us met last week at a franchise development conference, and I just could not wait to get you guys onto this podcast because this brand is unlike any other. There's nothing out in the industry like it. So, with that said, Courtney, why don't you give us a high level overview of what the Tux is and what brought you to found this brand?
Absolutely. So I started in 2019. Again, serial entrepreneur, always around health, wellness, and fitness. I had my two children, overworked mom. I always suffered from bad digestion. I've always taken more of a holistic approach to everything. So I did a lot of research on the lymphatic system. We were living in California at the time, and I tried to seek out lymphatic treatments with very little luck. I found a bunch of random people that did random techniques, but never really curated in a sense of like focusing on the lymphatic and digestive system in one. So of course, something just clicked in my brain and I was like, I can do this. I can really, bring this to market. So I hired a bunch of mentors to help me really curate the best technique. We opened the Talks LA in April of 2019, and it was instant success. We had every celebrity influencer knocking down the door. Our books were full. And location requests started coming in from all over. So in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, the next city has to be New York, right? And we packed up our family and we did it. And then, now we're at 12 corporate locations. We've traveled all around opening them up with my two kids. So it's been a journey, but since then, I really knew that franchising was the route for us because there's only so much that I can do and still keep the brand standard and, make sure that we're sticking to the original root of what we wanted to do. And that's, focusing on body sculpting, but in a holistic way, focusing on lymphatic and digestive work.
That is incredible. So you opened your first studio in essence in 2019. So we can't ignore the fact that during the years of COVID, 2020, and so forth, you have successfully grown this brand to 12 corporate locations and since started franchising in 2021, you have also secured your first two. Um, that is incredible. What were you guys able to stay open because during the COVID years because of the type of service that you were providing?
So like everyone, we had to shut down. It was definitely a scary time. At that moment, we had LA, New York, and we had opened Miami March 5th of 2020. So we were scared, right? Like everybody else, we had no idea what was going to happen. I really never thought that anybody would ever want to be touched this closely again. So, like everyone else, we had to close for a little bit, but I was smart enough to go under a physician for a few months in LA to be able to keep open and keep servicing our clients. We really had so many clients reaching out to us like, this has helped my immune system. I truly believe that I need this during that time. So I was, for us, it was like, oh my gosh, this is pandemic proof. Our clients are wanting this service. So I think that we closed down for a total of 6 months. At that time, I really diverted and focused on our product line. And, now we have over 40 SKUs and we supply our franchisees and our corporate locations from start to finish, everything that they need, to open and have our branding perfectly. So like everyone else, we just had to take a different route, but to be able to say that, we really were COVID proof and, we were able to divert and come out positive, it's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. So not being an expert in this area, lymphatic, in reading up and doing a little research for our discussion today, aside from the immune system, this has proven to be very helpful to individuals recovering from breast cancer surgery. I know that, plastic surgeons, many times, if patients have liposuction and different procedures, that they do recommend lymphatic massages. And it is hard to find somebody that really specializes in this area many times. I mean, I don't know if it's a traditional part of training for massage, but it is difficult. So what type of expertise, and maybe Gabby, you could touch on this. What type of training, does somebody working at the Tox need, and what type of employees are you looking for?
Yeah. Did you want to touch on that?
I always jump right in.
Yeah.
I just like live it, sleep it, all of it. So, yeah, I mean, the Tox technique is definitely unique. We don't refer to it as a massage whatsoever. We're not working the muscle group. So, to your point of post-op and breast cancer, we really do. So we're the next step after that. We always say, like, if you're having surgery, please, get your post-op lymphatic drainage massages, for 5-6 weeks, and then come to the Tox. So the Tox is non-invasive. We don't work the muscle groups. We are truly a technique. It's very unique. So it really is for everybody, but we do, to your point, have tons of plastic surgeons, medical professionals referring their clients to us. Because we are a body sculpting technique and we are moving our strokes in the way of the lymphatic system, we are able to primarily hire estheticians. Of course, every state has different regulations. In most states, because we are considered body sculpting and there is no federal requirement for body sculpting, body contouring done manually, we are able to hire estheticians, which has been a huge blessing for the brand. We have a wait list of estheticians in New York that want to work for us. They see, what we're doing. It's different, it's innovative, and they want to change in their career. So I would say hiring for us has been pretty easy. But yeah, Gabby, if you want to speak on any of it, I mean, feel free. I know I'm taking it over.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, what I think is so awesome about the brand too, I mean, the social media aspect of everything. So when it comes to hiring, with how well known this brand's name is, they've had wait lists of technicians wanting to actually come on. So it's pretty cool to see where they understand the growth that can happen within the company too. So I just thought I'd point that out there too, because that wait list portion is huge.
Yeah, I mean, the brand is all about women empowerment. We've given so many women an opportunity where I like to hire fresh out of school. I feel like it is a technique, and we are, teaching them from start to finish how to be successful within the brand. So to give women an opportunity that wouldn't normally have it, as most places require a lot of experience, it's been really rewarding on my side.
So the Tox, it is to sculpt, detox, and revive bodies. This is not a massage, it is a sculpting technique. So, okay, you spoke of estheticians as really your primary hiring group. And then this is a specialized technique, this is proprietary to the Tox. What type of training do these estheticians then, if they're right out of school or whether they've been practicing for a year or two, what does that training look like in-house?
Sure. So on a franchise standpoint, corporate, we do have a training team now. Thankfully, I have a group of great estheticians that will come to the franchisee's location, do a full-on training from start to finish. I am super OCD if you haven't noticed. So I make sure that, everything from start to finish is done perfectly as if it was me or one of my master estheticians doing the technique. So it can take anywhere from, I say, like 6 to 10 days. Every group is different. It depends on how quickly they learn. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I always say, I'm sorry, I can't guarantee a time frame for the training because we really have to make sure that it's perfected. From there, we also do a lot of follow-up trainings. We do secret evaluations. So, the technicians never know that we're going in. And then we give them a full report of what they hit, what they did wrong. And then we follow up with more training. So the training is a huge aspect to it. And I really feel, in the franchise world, especially, it's unique, right? Like nothing exists like it, but we have it dialed in. We've done it time and time again. And, it is the main part of the brand that we have to make sure is perfect.
And that confidence, of course, is shown through the 12 corporate locations, the 2 franchise locations now. Is this training done for a new franchisee coming on board, hiring a team of estheticians? Will the training take place at their specific location, or is it at one of your corporate locations?
It will be at their specific location. We've tried to do it the other way where I'm like, we have 5 trainings that need to happen. Let's all get together. And it's just never the same. I want them to feel so confident, make sure that their room feels right for them. I never want to send them back to their location, be like, oh, it's different here, or I don't feel comfortable, or, oh, I forgot to ask this. So we really do try to roll it into their grand opening, and a corporate team member stays there, watches them take their first few appointments, make sure everything's on point to be able to leave them and feel confident about it.
So that's a good segue into what the various services and revenue streams are of the brand. Courtney, you had mentioned, we've already talked about the technique. You've mentioned a proprietary line of products. So can you just kind of talk through the various different offerings you have and expand a little bit on your product line?
Absolutely. So, we only offer the Tox technique. We offer it in a 60-minute full body service, a 90-minute full body service, and we also offer a lymphatic sculpting facial that can be paired with either. So those are the service revenue streams. A lot of people will ask, is it membership based? What's the reoccurring revenue? We haven't had to go that route. What we do is we sell like bundles of sessions. So our standard recommendation is to come in every 2 weeks for the first 3 to 5 sessions. And then from there, it's maintenance, once every 4 to 6 weeks. So we do really try to push that education on the clients so they know to purchase the bundle, purchase our specials, they are discounted, but we haven't had to go that membership route at this point. So in addition to your service revenue, we do have a full product line. The Tox is the only one that sells it. I've curated every SKU, formulated all of the products, worked closely with a lot of professionals to really dial everything in. So it's all lymphatic based. We offer, lymphatic supplements. We offer debloat supplements that help with digestion and bloating. And then we also have more of the, beauty stuff. We sell gua sha and our proprietary drainage lotion. So the product line, I believe, Gabby, you can speak more on the numbers, but I think it's around like 7% of the revenue.
Yep,
We have implemented new policies for our technicians to really have them push it. This month we're at 11%. So it's super great additional revenue stream that you have coming in. And again, we supply all the products, that they have to use for the service too. So it's easy to sell. People are coming in for them. They see them on social media. They don't know where else to get them. So, we have clients that are just coming in for our products alone.
And to touch base too on the service model, clients are to pay for all the treatments they request before the scheduled appointment. So that's just an upfront payment and it's non-refundable as well. So that's just going to help with that steady stream of revenue for your business and just protecting that franchisee from any like financial stepbacks or whatnot. So it's all a prepaid service model.
And what is the average price across those services for a single service?
Sure.
That,
So the average is 249, I believe. It starts at 219 for the 60-minute, goes all the way up to even 425 if they want to get our ultimate, 90-minute plus facial. I would say, again, the average ticket is that 249.
And then talking about compensation for the estheticians, what would you say the average, are they salaried? Are they per hour? Is there the ability for them to earn tips in this type of
Commission.
setting?
Oh, I'm sorry. So they are hourly based, and then they do get commission on the products as well as gratuity. We have it really broken down. Gabby can speak on that, but we show it on our FDD.
yeah, so it's anywhere from it's $20 an hour to start as a technician. If they're hiring a general manager, it could be anywhere from $20 to $28 per hour. But if it's more so on a salary basis, that would be anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 per year.
And Gabby, this is an offering that can be owner operator, it can be semi-passive, or it can be an executive model. So, in a semi-passive or executive model type of situation, what does that, I guess, what does the hierarchy or how many employees are needed for an investor looking to be semi-passive or executive?
So we want to find anywhere from like 1 to 2 front of the house employees, and then anywhere from 4 to 6 technicians. A lot of our locations have actually been successful with 3 to 5 technicians. So less than 10 employees, and it's just it's a very simple model to operate. So if they're doing a general manager model, that general manager can be one of the front of the house employees too. So it could they're hiring the general manager just to oversee the day-to-day operations. And then if they were to be that executive model, kind of they could be like a CEO of the operation. So kind of do like a part-time position there. And then being able just to oversee the operations. As for if it was owner and operator, they're responsible for just delivering all of the customer service and just overseeing like the financial aspect of the company too.
I do want to say it's very important to us to make sure that they are leanly staffed. We want to get them profitable as soon as possible. So the way that we set it up with handling their social media and being so involved in their marketing, it's really easy for them to step away. Like I can say our franchisees are not there a lot. They do have a general manager, but again, the corporate side is so involved that they're able to be very leanly staffed.
And do you handle 100% of all of their social media?
We do, yes. So they don't have access to it at all. It was a major point for me when I decided to franchise, making sure that our brand standard stays the way that it is. And we've been so successful on social media with little to none paid advertising. So it's scary for me. I want to make sure that everything runs the same way so we can kind of copy and paste it and make it very easy for our franchisees.
Well, and I can understand that. I mean, you've done a great job on the branding, the talks, it's sexy, it's sleek. This is a very Instagrammable type of environment. And, the offering itself is very therapeutic and health-based. So, okay, so let's talk about the footprint. So this is definitely a retail storefront type of model. How many square feet is needed for a boutique? And what type of assistance do you provide as far as when a new franchisee does come on board in finding that perfect real estate location for them?
Sure. So anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500, I say like 1,800 is a sweet spot. We want to make sure that they have at least 4 treatment rooms within that space, up to 6. And we do offer assistance. I've been able to secure our spaces very easily. We always try to find them the easiest spaces or assist with finding the easiest spaces. We don't require a large build out at all. Our rooms are separated by curtains, so we really try to push them to find a space that would not require permitting. It's very simple. It's a standard vanilla shell would be perfect with 1 or 2 restrooms. So it's been pretty easy to find, and we will, of course, offer that assistance. We've done it so many times. My husband's very involved in the real estate side, so we're doing it right now with a franchisee, making sure that the space fits exactly what we want. It's easy for her. She doesn't have to do any permitting. It's plug and play. So that's what we really want our franchisees to find.
And that is beautiful and is a testament, I guess, to the total investment level for the talks is $235,000 to $396,000. And what you just described, that is, I mean, that is music to an investor's ears, because the last thing you want to do is to invest all this money into something you can't take with you, right?
Exactly. And that's what we've been able to do. When we met at that conference, I was telling somebody right before I met you, we were able to open one studio literally by painting it. So, if you find a great space, it does exist and you can do it because it's such an easy footprint.
That is fantastic. So definitely a great concept for multi-unit ownership play. So let's dive into, with that said, who is your ideal candidate to become a franchisee?
I say anybody who's passionate about health and wellness, I don't know. I mean, I just want somebody to match my passion. We have a ton of investors knocking down our doors, wanting to open. And I just want to make sure that if, they're not passionate about it, that they're hiring a great manager that's passionate about it. Strong community ties is always a plus, especially we're going to be opening in smaller markets. We want to make sure, that they know their community, they can relate, they can, do events to get the word out. So I would just say anybody who matches my passion with health and wellness.
Courtney, what markets, you've mentioned New York, LA, Miami, what other markets are your corporate locations in today? And where will the 2 franchise locations be if they're not already open?
Sure. So in addition to New York, LA, and Miami, we have Dallas, Houston, Texas, Boston, DC, Toronto, and then our franchisees are Scottsdale, which has been open for a year, and then we signed Atlanta, Sandy Springs.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What a unique approach. Most franchise brands that have corporate locations are typically all co-located within a certain area, but you were very mindful to prove out this concept across the nation in different demographic areas, different communities, which should give an investor a warm fuzzy when looking at an emerging brand like this.
Absolutely. My husband probably wishes that I just picked one area. But I really wanted to have all of the big cities. So then the smaller, like little pockets already had that brand awareness. So it was strategic. I wanted to make sure that it did work in every market. So now, we've covered the larger ones. So now we can, withstand the smaller ones.
I love it. All right. So we keep dancing around the item 19 and the numbers. You guys have a very nice item 19, which shows some of the financial representations of your corporate locations. So with that said, Gabby, what can you share with us today about the ROI on this brand?
Yes, definitely. So our item 19 is very transparent, very detailed. It breaks down everything from revenue by service type, cost of goods sold, operating expenses, franchise related fees too. And then they even have client retention tables there. So very, very, very detailed, which is awesome. We have strong ROIs. So our average gross revenue is $997,000 with an adjusted net income of $257,000, and then average profit margin is 25.8%. So pretty high
Wow.
there. Yeah.
That is fantastic. So I'm curious, what type of background, the two franchise locations that you've attracted today, what are their backgrounds? And are they going to be owner operator or the executive model?
Sure. So our franchisee in Scottsdale is an attorney, and she has been such a blessing to me as my first franchisee. I feel like I really hit the lotto with her. She does have a general manager in place as she is a busy businesswoman, but she's absolutely killed it. She's been amazing. And then our second franchisee is I don't know, I don't want to call her an influencer because she's so much more. She's a businesswoman, but she's highly recognized. I believe that she has over 10 million followers, and she will also be hiring a GM.
So on the last note, let me ask you this, and it crossed my mind a little bit earlier. Since this is a proprietary technique, you're recruiting estheticians. Is there a fear of training these technicians and then having them leave? And if so, how do you protect yourself as an entity?
Sure. So we are very protected. They all sign, depending on the state, of course, non-solicit, non-compete. Our documents are really strict. I want to make sure that the tox technique cannot be performed anywhere else. A lot of states, we have been able to even have them, sign a year contract with us. And if they don't fulfill that year, they have to pay us back. I believe some locations are even $10,000 for the training or $5,000 for the training, to be able to regain some of those costs. So we have all of those things in play. Of course, it's been a huge part of my journey, and dealing with employees is never easy, but you want to make sure that the brand is protected. So we've done a great job of that, and of course, we will make sure that our franchisees do as well.
Fantastic. Well, Courtney, fabulous brand. I'm excited to see this grow. And now your partnership with Franchise Fastlane, I can see this just taking off very quickly from a franchise standpoint. And you yourself, I'm amazed as I look through and did a little research on you. This isn't your only gig. So you have clothing, you're in different entrepreneurial segments. So congratulations for all of your success. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I very much
Appreciate
appreciate it. And I am going to have to take a road trip south to Miami to try this out sometime soon.
Yes, for sure.
All right. So for anybody that is interested in learning more about the tox, please feel free to reach out to me at Stacie@fusionfranchising.com. Thanks and have a great day.